Hello everyone, I'm Stubb, and this is a CommLink Alert where major articles from Cloud Imperium Games are read for those who would rather hear it than read it. CIG released the Squadron 42 monthly report for April 2024. And here's what it says. Welcome to April Squadron 42 development report. Enclosed, you will find details on the latest progress made across the campaign, including AI behaviors, ship combat, and Easter eggs. Thank you for your continued support of Squadron 42. Sincerely, CIG Communications. AI content. April saw the AI content team enhancing the dialogue experience, introducing 4 dynamic conversations into Chapter 1 to showcase chapter-specific content more effectively. They also addressed a critical issue where players could observe NPCs despawning after following them. NPCs now engage with the environment meaningfully until the player exits the area. The team then implemented input variables to enhance flexibility in player AI interactions, allowing for tailored reactions such as a formal greeting followed by task-related dialogue, a concise busy response, or no dialogue at all. This expanded functionality proved invaluable for addressing the campaign's diverse narrative scenarios. Overall, NPC behaviors were refined too, with the team resolving a bug causing NPC guards to gradually shift leftward each time they saluted the player. This caused a locator malfunction. The team also rectified an issue where the supervisor NPC was inconsistently present on the Stanton's Bridge across the day-night cycle. For combat mechanics, AI content utilized new mocap to refine how players interact with the Gladius. Alongside this, various task and bug fixes were completed to improve the overall player experience. AI features. Last month, the AI features team made updates and bug fixes to AI combat for the persistent universe. Once Alpha 323 launches, these improvements will be brought into Squadron 42 to further enhance the flight and combat experience. AI tech. AI tech began supporting usables reacting to Maelstrom physics. As part of this, the reusable will react to the destroyed object and enable or disable specific functionalities. For example, if an engineer inspects a broken wing of the Gladius, they will notice the damage and perform an appropriate interaction. For cover, the system will react to the object's destruction and notify NPCs that might already be using cover. Animation. The animation team worked on numerous space-centered movements throughout April, including zero-G and prone movement in gravity. They also worked on first-person animations for turrets, interacting with fire extinguishers, med pins, and more. The team then continued working on player weapon reloading and malfunctions, as well as burning down AI combat animations, including reloads and hit reactions. Hit reactions were also shot for a new enemy class. The team is currently closing out several background and life elements across various locations, such as the Idris. They also supported cinematics with mocap shoots for the opening of the campaign. The facial animation team continued to develop assets for the cast characters and player. On the mocap side, the team supported mocap sessions needed to complete specific levels. Gameplay story. April saw the gameplay story team focusing on Chapter 1. As part of this, they continued bug fixing and polishing, with their involvement on the chapter tapering off as it nears completion. In addition to this, the team continued to implement and improve scenes across other chapters, with April's work mostly dealing with Chapter 5. For example, they overhauled a scene in an elevator with new mocap and encouragement lines. Quote, "It was great to see all these elements working together with great timing in-game," end quote, gameplay story team. Also for Chapter 5, a scene on a tram platform received new mocap to improve how a key character reacts to the player. Narrative. Throughout April, narrative progressed with tasks started in previous months, alongside re-examining remaining work to make sure that everything is covered and tracked. The team continued generating environmental chatter that will be sprinkled throughout the story to provide additional backstory and insights into the social dynamics of the crew. Additionally, narrative worked closely with core gameplay to implement the Galactopedia, testing out the layout, content, and triggering of various entries. This is being trialed on a sample level to establish a standardized process before being applied across the game. The team continued to review text used for mission objectives, as well as the on-screen tutorials based on level design's latest updates to the game flow, to ensure players have a clear understanding of what's needed from them. This will be an ongoing endeavor as levels are solidified and tested. Work also continued with several external vendors to generate collectible content that will be found throughout the game. Quote, "While we can't get into the specifics to avoid spoilers, this additional content should provide really fun Easter eggs for players to track down," end quote, Narrative team. Finally, Narrative kicked off an initiative across several teams to better test and validate their voice packs. While versions of this have existed for some time, the aim is for it to feature a gameplay-centric interface that will allow the narrative, audio, and design teams to modify the combat experience through debug triggers that can help satisfy conditions to trigger lines. Tech animation. The tech animation team continued to generate and implement new head assets to the DNA gene pool and are not far from completing the initiative of 80 heads. Many devs are currently dealing with the complications of players and NPCs putting on and taking off clothes live in the engine. Quote, "This has been ongoing for some time, and with the addition of animation resources into the mix, we are seeing great headway in both generating the assets for animation and generating usable pipelines to expedite the entire process for everyone involved." End quote, tech animation team. Additionally, the team are intrinsic in the creation and implementation of new creatures for both the PU and Squadron 42. They're also involved in work towards consumables and the setup of foodstuffs, with the team aiming to guide this initiative and promote time-saving workflows. Tech design. Last month, Tech Design began moving the recent ship AI changes from the PU into Squadron 42. They also set up new ammo crate entities, provided miscellaneous tech support, and fixed several bugs. UI. In April, the UI team focused on the opening level of the game, creating several motion graphic videos of boot-up sequences for when the player uses tech for the first time. These are used to work out the timings of animated sequences, so once they're signed off, they can easily be recreated in-engine. The team also worked on the UI for one of the alien races. VFX. Last month, the VFX team worked on holographic shader improvements, including extending the feature set so that it can be more widely used by the art and design teams. As usual, general support for art, cinematics, and design continued, including positive steps for destruction workflows. We'll see you next month in transmission. And that's it for the Squadron 42 monthly reports. Don't forget that the CommLink Podcast releases a new episode almost every week, featuring discussions about Star Citizen and Squadron 42. The CommLink Podcast can be found on both YouTube and Spotify. In addition to the podcast, be sure to also check out our Star Citizen and Squadron 42 reaction videos on our YouTube channel. You can follow CommLink on Twitter and Instagram. The username for both platforms is @CommLinkPod. We're currently running a giveaway for a Cutter Rambler with LTI, so check out our Twitter page for details pinned at the top. And if you enjoyed today's alert, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time, thanks to everyone for tuning in, stay safe, and be well.